Hello and welcome back to the NBA DFS Slate Breakdown for Thursday, February 13th. It is the last day before NBA All-Star break. We got a 5-game slate to go over and a lot of different things to cover because there's so much unknown. All these teams are on back-to-back. Really anything can happen. Any of the news can happen. I'm your host, Tyler Wiemann. That back there is my daughter, as it is a snow day here in Oregon, and she's hanging out with me today. Now, let's dive in. Before we do, come join us at LionStar. $39.99 per month gets you access to all we do, all the props, all the DFS. You get it all, one low price. Now, let's jump into this slate. I want to start out by going over some of the starting lineups because there's a bunch of different news that we could see happening throughout the day. The Warriors are... Steve Kerr said yesterday that there is the chance that they're sitting the vets. So for me, that would mean Curry, Butler, Green probably sit. Hield is an unknown. Looney could sit, but everybody else I would kind of expect to play. So there could be late value opening up for the Warriors once we get that news. We don't have it now, so we got to, go with what we know. But another spot, Zion Williamson, he hasn't been playing back-to-backs. I wouldn't expect him to play a back-to-back. He played yesterday. I bet he sits tonight, but we won't know for sure until later on that one as well. And another situations to watch. We know Terry Eason and Steven Adams are sitting. Miami Heat, we're not sure what's going on here injury-wise with Duncan Robinson yet or Terry Rozier. Dallas Mavericks, we know, are a mess, and P.J. Washington's out. All their centers are out. Anthony Davis is out. Obvious some value spots there, and we don't know the situation for Mike Conley in Minnesota. And then Utah is another spot we really don't know much about. They've been sitting a lot of people on back-to-backs. Markkanen, I think, very easily could get sat. Sexton hasn't played in quite a few games. John Collins, Clarkson are all question marks. And Kessler hasn't played much on back-to-backs. So all of these situations we need to look at, and more news will come out throughout the day. So make sure you watch that. Let's dive into what we kind of know now and go over it. So Jose Alvarado, highest owned point guard, 37% owned. Olivia, I can't right now. I'm on this. Yeah, it does squeak. Okay, Oli, I'll be right. I'll be with you in a minute. Sorry, guys. Jose Alvarado, 37% owned. The situation is likely Zion is going to sit. We don't know if Alvarado is going to start or not, but he has started the last 3 games, played 32 minutes last game. I think there is some upside here. He's 5K. It's not like he's a screaming value here, but I don't mind playing him. The only issue is we're not going to know, what's going on with Zion for a little bit. If Zion's out, I think it makes Alvarado much more interesting. But for me, it really comes down more so to, is he starting or not? If he's not starting, I don't want to pay 5K. Next, we got Keaton George, 6,300, 28%. I think George is interesting, but he becomes much more interesting, say, if Clarkson, Sexton, and Markkanen are out. If those guys are out, he's locked into big minutes, and I definitely am intrigued at his price and locked into big minutes. If just Sexton is out, I think he plays a similar role to what we've seen, 32-ish minutes off the bench, and totally boom bust because it's all on does he get hot or not, and I'm fine going there. Pivot-wise, Tyler Hero, 7,900. Look, his price came down. He's in a very good spot. He's on a back-to-back, but the only reason he sat a couple days ago was because of an illness. I think he's good to go and going to play big minutes. Very interested in Tyler Hero. Buddy Hield, 5,200. Absolutely interested in him if all the vets are out. If the vets are in, I don't love it so much, but if the vets are out and he's playing, he should get a big-time usage bump, and minutes should be solid. Would be interested in him. Steph Curry, 8,900. Jimmy Butler has fully opened up this offense. He's at like 40.5 points per 100 with Jimmy Butler on the court. That is an insane high number, and I think the Steph Curry that we are used to has kind of been unlocked with another weapon on the court for the Warriors. So definitely interested in Steph. And then I got to throw in SGA just because I think there will be plenty of value on this slate and you can get up there. He has a big-time ceiling. I'm interested in SGA. Getting over to DraftKings, highest owned, we got Harden, George, and Alvarado. Harden's the only one we haven't covered, and at 9,200, I think you kind of got to be interested on a slate where you can easily get up to him, and there could be plenty of value. Only thing is we may not know all the value until later, but Harden has a big enough ceiling at his price in a good matchup to warrant playing him. Now, getting over to shooting guard on FanDuel. We got Keaton George, Keon Ellis, and Anthony Edwards. Keon Ellis, 4,700. I don't love getting there. I think he's priced a little bit too high, but he's been playing enough minutes with this team to warrant going there, and we've seen some success, and it's a decent spot versus the Pelicans, so I don't mind it. Edwards, I don't mind playing 9,900. I like him a little bit more if Mike Conley is out. He's really going to have to be aggressive if Minnesota wants to stay in this game versus OKC, so the upside's there. Pivot-wise, Norm Powell, 7,300. There's no Kawhi Leonard, so the ceiling is there once again, and it's a super good matchup versus the Jazz, who are 30th versus shooting guard, and not good versus small forward either. Tyler Hero, we covered. Buddy Hield, we covered. Amen Thompson, 9K. Price got up there, but I think it's still within range, and I don't mind getting them. His usage is just through the roof, and he does so many things, plays so many minutes that I'm absolutely fine getting to Thompson. Next, we got Max Christie, 5,700. I would expect Exum out, which means Christie's likely starting. The thing here is that he played 39 minutes in the start last night. Now, even if Exum is in, I would expect big minutes because he's played 35, 33, 30, and 32 with Dallas, and then 39 last night, obviously, in a start. So I think a start just gives him more leash, gives him more minutes on the court, and he's at a 0.9 fantasy points per minute so far with Dallas. Very intriguing if he's getting a lot of minutes. So definitely willing to go there. Shooting guard on DraftKings, Whitmore, Dunn, Murphy. Whitmore, 4,300. There's no Terry Eason, so he could get a little bit more run off the bench. Definitely a little interesting. Chris Dunn, 3,700. He's too cheap not to consider, but likely only plays 20 to 24 minutes. There's no Leonard, so maybe a little bit more leash for him, but it's not like it's a screaming value here. Trey Murphy, 8,200, absolutely interesting, especially without Zion. There could be a big boost up in his usage. So definitely like some Trey Murphy. And getting on over to small forward on FanDuel, Anthony Edwards, Najee Marshall, and Trey Murphy. Ant obviously has the upside to warrant going there. I don't mind it. Najee Marshall, 5,500. I don't absolutely love, but I can do it. Yeah.
I do want a snack.
Okay, we'll get you a snack in a little bit. Daddy needs to do this real quick. Sorry, guys. I'm back to it. Najee Marshall, I don't really love, but, he's going to get the minutes. Murphy, we covered. Norm Powell, we have talked about already. Whitmore, Thompson. Andrew Wiggins, 6,400. I think the upside's here. He's pretty much taken that role of Butler. However, he is not as good as Jimmy Butler. I think the floor is super solid here. Ceiling is still a little unknown. I don't mind some Andrew Wiggins, though. and I'm at his ownership. I'm going to get to a little bit. Small forward, we got Whitmore, we got Murphy, and Amir Coffey. Coffey could play some solid minutes in this situation with no Leonard. I think that's the upside here. We got to wait to see if he's a starter or not, though. Zvi likely starts, and I don't really like him. I mean, the upside's just not really there for the limited minutes he will play. On to power forward on FanDuel, Oliver Maxence Prosper. He's going to get the start again today. Only worry is how many minutes he plays. He only played 24 minutes yesterday. They don't really have much at center. He could play big minutes. I think that's the big worry. I mean, he played 31 minutes versus Cleveland, 24 last night. No clue his minutes. If he plays 28, 32, I'm absolutely fine playing him. If he's going to play only 24, I kind of want to jump off that high ownership. That's for you guys to figure out, which you think may happen there. But I think it is a point you can jump off the chalk if you want. Domantas Sabonis, 9,600, 34% owned. He is too high owned for me. Obviously, upside is there. But with Levine, we haven't seen that upside lately for Sabonis. So that is a little worrisome. Pivot-wise, if Zion's out, Carlo Makovic likely starts, and what we've seen from him in starts, 30 and 29 points. And if he gets solid minutes, he's been producing, so I don't mind going there. Andrew Wiggins we covered. John Collins, news in Utah is up for debate, but if Markkanen is sitting, and if he's playing, then I think he has a giant upside that we need to be attacking. And then also with the possible injuries or people out in Utah, I think Flipkowski could get a spot start, in which that case he is super interesting. Power forward on DraftKings. Pence, Adebayo, and Coffey. Adebayo, big time upside. And I don't mind going there. He also could get more run at center with Ware getting less minutes because of Dallas's situation where they have to play small ball. Absolutely interested in Adebayo here. On to center on FanDuel, we got Sabonis and Zubac. Zubac I don't mind with no Leonard. The upside is there. It's a good spot. I'm fine going there, but don't absolutely love it. Pivot-wise, Sengun, I think at 18% owned, is interested in 8,600. He has the ability to go 50+, and he's in a good spot versus the Warriors. All the other pivots, Carlo, John Collins, and Flip, we have talked about, so we'll get on over to center on DraftKings. And we've talked about them, Zubac, Adebayo, and Domantas Sabonis. That'll wrap it up for today, guys. I hope you found it interesting and informative. And a little applause for my special guest over there. You guys have a good one. We'll be back after All-Star break. Thank you. Have a good one. Peace.